Sales are steady, prices are climbing, and more sellers are entering the market. Here's what September's data is revealing for Reston, Virginia on the Foundation Report. I'm Eric Fafoglia at the Strong Foundations Group of Corcoran. I help buyers and sellers across Reston, Virginia, and the greater DC market make confident decisions using my education-first approach with my 208-step selling process and 128-step buying process. All right, let's dig into September data. So I've got a change up for this month. I started adding month-over-month data as well as looking at the same month of last year. Starting with median sales price, Reston climbed to $610,000 on the median sales price for September. That's a solid 5% jump from August, despite prices being down compared to the same time last year. Despite being down, that month-over-month increase that we saw last month really shows that the luxury market is still holding and people in Reston are willing to compete for the right house. The crazy stat that we saw was that closed sales in Reston last month were pretty much flat from the month before. But if you compare it to September of last year, we were up 30%. So really transacting at a higher number compared to this time last year, which is definitely what we're feeling day to day in this market. And things picked up in September. Houses did not sit for long. It took on average 8 days to sell, which is down 53% month over month. That's the lowest we've seen since spring. And so it's a clear indication that things are moving into a more competitive market for this fall. The average price of what a seller received as compared to what they originally listed for was strong last month. It was at 98.8%, showing that there's not a lot of room that's the price is being dropped from their original listing and asking price. Saw a healthy jump in inventory as well. And we saw 121 new listings come onto the market in September, and that's up 24% versus last month. Like we were talking about earlier with all the closed sales that we saw as an increase in last month, the active homes that are on the market ended up staying flat. So we pretty much digested everything that came onto the market in addition. The month supply remains at 2.7 months in Reston. So that means if Reston didn't get any more homes on the market, we'd sell out in 2.7 months, which is still considered a seller's market. We only saw 2 new construction sales in Reston last month, pretty much flat year over year. Pretty much what we're seeing, around the DMV and nationwide is that builders have been pulling back a bit from building like they used to in the early 2020s when rates were much lower and buyers were buying at a much higher clip. All right, so what's the sum up story for Reston? Well, it's a pretty balanced market. Even though things are showing that it's favoring sellers, we are seeing strong sales and houses selling for pretty much what they're asking. And we're seeing competitive situations. Houses selling in 8 days tends to lead me to believe, if that's the average, that there's a lot that are selling much faster than 8 days. Personally, I've seen a few sales recently in Reston that have gone over ask in competitive multiple offer situations. For buyers, there are some houses out there that you are able to take your time a little bit with. But overall, of all the markets I'm reviewing this month, Reston seems to be the one that is most seller favored. And so you have a little bit of time, but not a ton of time to make a decision after seeing a house. All right, now that we're about a month into Q4, I'm gonna be really looking forward to seeing what happens in November and December, as well as of course October. All right, as we are now in Q4, almost at the end of October by the time I'm filming this, it's gonna be really interesting to see what the October data shows and then the rest of Q4, if it's gonna be historically a slower quarter like it is usually, or if we're gonna get a little bit of tailwinds given the rates have dipped now again to the low 6s, around 6.13 is the average today. I believe if you're planning to move, it starts with a strong foundation of knowledge. If you want to break down what these numbers mean or how your strategy is affected by this, just reach out. I'd love to chat. I'm Eric Fafoglia, and I'll see you next time on the Foundation Report.